and welcome to your Primal Mobility session. Here we're just going to try and get into bare feet, outside if you can, into the sunshine or whatever weather it might be, so that we can start stacking up some of those laws. Barefoot connection to outside, and then we're going to do some movement as well. So here we're going to go through a series of 3 different flows to be able to expand our mobility and really become injury prevention and increasing your biomechanics. Okay, so let's go straight into it. So the first one we're going to be doing is we're going to settle down into a half kneeling position, and we're just going to spin the arm backwards. We're here, we're standing up nice and tall. We're going to take some nice deep breaths. We're going to go for about 10 repetitions with this direction, and we're squeezing the glute, pushing the hips forwards, and just enjoying twisting through the back. Just allow the body to really twist and novate. Right, swap direction. We're going to twist and move into this next flow. That's perfect. Nice deep breaths, just rhythmic breathing. Great. Now we're just going to move into the opposite leg. So here again, we're going to just have the feet planted down on the ground, hip forwards, and then we're just starting to spin the arm backwards, sinking that breathing in. Nice soft gaze, deep breaths, and spin the other way. Just connect to whatever landscape you're in. Don't worry, if you have to be inside, you have to be inside. Much more important to get the movements done and settle into these exercises. So we're doing about 10 spins on each way. Okay. Next one, we're going to go straight into the 90-90 pushbacks. So here we're going to be going down and settling ourselves down on the ground, and we're going to make a 90 shape with our legs into that position there. Okay. Twisting our torso over, so we might feel a bit of stiffness through the hips. We're going to lean forwards over the top. We're going to sit up nice and tall, and then we're going to push that leg back. So we're going to go back into that lean forwards, lift and push back. And here we're getting that flexibility and strength through the back of the hip. So we're just engaging nicely. Again, just sink that breathing in. That's great. Last couple of reps. Whatever height you can manage with there, and then we're just going to swap over to the other side. So again, settle, just take a moment to find that 90-90 position with the front leg, and then also the back leg as much as you possibly can. Feel the stiffness, twist the torso over the front. We're going to lean forwards, feel the stretch, sit up nice and straight, and push back. So lean forward and then push back. It's only a subtle movement because we're not straightening the leg behind us, so we're engaging that hip into that position. Good. Again, we're doing about 10 repetitions on each side. We'll do one more, just for good luck. Push down and then squeeze back. Fantastic. So now we're going to come round, we're going to settle ourselves into a press-up position. Okay, once you're in that press-up position, we're going to take the one step and we're going to get it up nice and high. So we're in this split stance position. Straighten off the back leg, lift up the arm, and then we're going to drive the forearm down to the floor, and then we're going to twist and rotate upwards. And again, we're just going to sink our breathing. Breathe out on the way down, back in on the way up. Breathe out on the way down, back in on the way up. Best stretch, so we're really working that lovely range of motion, opening the hips up, but also our upper back in that rotational plane. If you can't get the forearm on the floor, don't worry, just go to that point of tension and then come back out of it. And then nice and gently we're going to swap into the other side. So I'll do this one face on. So in this position, we're getting there,
We're stepping up nice and wide. We're going to hold that arm nice and straight. We're going to drive down, and we're twisting and rotating up at the same time as those nice big deep breaths. Good test of mobility, that one as well. Okay, so how far you can get the forearm down to the floor really depends on your flexibility through lots of different planes. So increasing that as time goes on, the more times you go through. Next, we're going to be standing up and we're just going to be practicing the twist of the ankle. Okay, so we're going to place one foot forwards. We're going to roll the foot over onto its side. Okay, whilst it's on its side, you're going to get into a position where we just push a little bit of weight down through the front and then feel the stretch through the side of the ankle. And then we're going to keep the leg nice and straight, and we're going to reach down towards the toe, stand up tall, reach down towards the toe. And here we're just decreasing the risk of those ankle twists and flexibility through there. It feels good. Nice deep breaths out on the way in, back. That's lovely. And then swap over to the other side. So you're going to settle the foot down. We're going to twist and rotate it so it's right over to the side, and then we're going to bow forwards and then come back up. Push that weight as much as you can onto that front leg. Allow the back leg to bend a little bit to give you a little bit of leeway, and then just back into sinking that breathing. Good. We'll just do one more all the way down and back up. Okay, so that is the 4 exercises in flow 1. If you want to, just pause it now and then repeat those 4 exercises again. Okay, so you've got a chance to do each flow 3 times. Okay, if you don't have enough time, then we'll just move on to the next flow, and then we'll move into the next flow after that. It's a great workout even if you just tie one flow straight into the next without having to repeat it. If you've got a little bit more time, or you know that you need to work on some of those exercises, just pause the video now, even rewind it so I can go through it with you again, and then follow me up into this next flow. So the next one we're going to be doing, okay, is going to be going for the couch stretch. So when you're ready, we're going to get back down into that half kneeling position, okay, and then this time what we're going to do is going to drive the foot forwards, and then we're going to stretch out and then come back into kneeling, and then drive the other foot out and stretch out. So we're always going back into kneeling, and we're alternating from left to right this time with that extra stretch through the top of the hip flexor, which is so important to maintain that mobility, because we spend too much time in that seated position, and this means that our biomechanics, the way that we move, completely changes, and this really helps to reset that. Play around with the angles, so take the foot slightly out to the side, even more to the side, to see how that feels. There's no perfection in any of these workouts. We're working with your body, your edges, your range of motion, and just feel those stretches. That's brilliant. Okay, so we're just going to come settling down, and now we're going to place our hands on the floor. We're going to come into this reverse tabletop position, and we're going to push the hips up at the same time as stretching over into that bridge press. So we're going over to that side, and then we're going to press up and move over to the other side. Again, just sinking that breathing into it. And this is great for working on glute activation, as well as that thoracic upper spine mobility, and also your shoulder strength and rotation. Nice and steady, nice Nice deep breaths. Really push, drive, push, and drive. Hold it there for a couple of seconds in that top part. See how that feels. Back down, up and hold it at that top part. See how that feels. And then relax. Next, we're going to be moving back up into our standing position, and we're going to anchor our foot down into the ground, really grounding ourselves. Here, we're going to bow forwards and work on this hip hinge. So we're going to stand on one leg, we're going to bow forwards, and then we're going to be coming back up into that full stand. So that's all we need to do here. We're waking up our nervous system, working down through the foot, feeling the hamstring and the glute engage, and your nervous system just working to balance us and feel where we are in time and space. And this is so important to keep practicing, because if we don't do it, we lose it. Okay, so we're going to settle down onto the other leg now, so ground that foot all the way down into it, and then we're going to bow forwards and come up. If you find you're wobbling around, don't worry, it's just practice. Allow yourself to go with those wobbles. It's not about being completely static and still, it's actually just adjusting those micro movements all the time, so that we just get those finer movements really engaged into that. That's great. So we'll just do a couple more on this side. Stick that back leg out as counterbalance, and then drive those hips forwards. So you feel that tension through the hamstrings, and then back into that postural chain. Last one on this flow, we're just going to settle back down into a kneeling sort of position, and here we're just going to work on your wrist flexibility. So we're just going to place the hands down on the floor, and then once you're on that floor, we're just going to circle around forwards, increasing the range of motion as we do those circles. So we're just keeping the fingers nice and splayed out, and then rock the shoulders forwards, and you'll feel those wrists loosening up, working into those tensions. Swap direction. It's all about the weight forward on this one, just increasing that mobility. And then the next is all we're going to do is we're going to swap those round, so we're facing that way, and then we're just going to sit back into our hips and then rock forwards. Sit back into those hips and rock forwards. There's a lovely stretch down through the wrists. So if you find that your wrists are hurting through press-ups and different press-up positions, it's working that mobility, which will make a massive difference. And also if you've got any shoulder injuries or shoulder complaints, a lot of the time it's because of those weak or inflexible wrists. So that one takes care of there. So that's your end of your flow 2. Again, if you've got enough time, pause the video, rewind it, work through those 4 exercises again with me, and then come back into our final flow, into this third flow, where we're going to be really delving down into a couple more mobility exercises. So when you're ready, we're going to move into this flow 3. In this one, we're going to be going straight into an activation for the core. So we're going to be moving into a side plank position. So here, we're going to be coming down onto our side, and then we're going to settle the forearms so it's nice and underneath your shoulders. We're going to place one foot up on top of the other, and then what we're going to do is going to split the legs so that both feet are on the ground, and then we're going to drive one knee in and then the next knee in. So these are these side hip marches, so I want you to focus on that knee driving into that position. Okay, I'll just do a few more there, so it's about 5 to each leg, and you'll feel that really working that core. And you're going to swap over into the other side. You're going to lift yourself up into the bright sunshine, and then we'll drive the inner leg and the outer leg up towards the chest. So So the intention is to drive the knee in towards the chest. If you're struggling with that one, you can just drop down onto your knees and just do the same action with that inner leg down on the knee there to make it a little bit easier to begin with. But just trying to really activate those side core muscle groups into that position. Next, we're going to be standing up. We're going to drive our knees and our legs nice and wide, okay? Point the toes maybe slightly out to the side. And we're going to go down into the Cossack squat. So here, we're driving one side and we're dropping down into this nice low Cossack squat position, okay? If you're struggling, put the weight forwards and lift your heel up so you can get into that position, okay? Just go how your body is. And then we're gonna work your hands all the way to one side and then drop back down into the Cossack on the other side, okay? And if you need to, then go up onto the toe. And we're just gonna move nice and gently from left to right on this one. Working your hands on the floor to begin with. And then once you start to move through, we can just lift the arms up and extend the leg from side to side, sitting up into that Cossack movement. Flexibility, mobility, and the strength to be able to work that inner thigh muscle group plays massive dividends into the lateral movement. And if you do just fall over, put a hand down like I just did and just go with the body. Okay, so working your way back up into a standing position. Next, we're going to be working through the knee over the toe lunge. So we're going to get into a nice split lunge position or split squat position. We're going to settle the leg forwards, okay, and then we're going to keep this back leg as straight as you possibly can, and we're going to drive the knee over the end of the toe. So we're going to get into a deep lunge position. Opens up the hips, increases the strength through the knee, and then you're going to push back into that standing position. So it's not a lunge where we go down, it's a lunge where we're sliding forwards and then pushing back. Sliding forwards and pushing back. Ground your feet into that movement. Great work, well done. Okay, swap legs. So you're going to take the other leg forwards, get that other leg right far back. Okay, and then drive that knee forward and then push back. Drive that knee forward, push back. Deep breath out. Breathe in. Last rep, we're just driving forwards and come back up. Good. So you just want to shake those legs off after that last one, and then we'll just move into this last fourth exercise. We're going to go down into the press up position. We're going to push back into the downward dog, so you feel those calf stretch, hamstrings push through the shoulders, and then we're going to slowly move forward and then uplift and stretch back the opposite way. Lift the chin up. You can place the legs down on the ground to settle the spine. Then you can push back and then slide forwards. Again, just syncing that breathing between those two movements. Nice and gently. Good. One more time. Up and hold. Fantastic. So again, that's the completion of the third flow. If you need to, pause it, go through those exercises one more time and see how that feels. and then we're just going to finally work on our squat sit position. So this is a fundamental human mat pattern that we've forgotten to use and do. You see kids in this position playing all the time, but us as adults, we sit on chairs and we lose this skill. It increases flexibility through the hips, the knees, the ankles and the lower back. So all we're going to be doing here is we're just going to finish off with the squat sit. So here we're going to be standing up and then we're going to drop all the way down and we're going to get into that squat sit position. Lift the back up nice and tall and sit there. If you need to, push up onto the toes or lift the heels up so you can get down into that squat position, and then just as we get better we can start to lower the heels so they are on that flat position. And then we're just going to concentrate on some nasal breathing here. So we're just going to settle the nervous system. So I want you to breathe in for 4 and then exhale out of the nose for 8. So we're just going to settle the nervous system down. So down into that squat position and ready. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And inhale. 4 and exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one more round. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax there. So moving up to a stand, just shake the body off, give it a good rinse out, head, shoulders, feet and toes. Well done. That's your mobility session complete. Once all the way through, and we can do that several times a week if you need to really work on those mobilities, and that's your choice through those laws of movement. You can pick the mobility as many times as you want to do if that's the thing that you feel that you need to gain the most out of this reset. Take care and we'll see you on the next one.